Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean from the US. I'm here now in Jamsil, and I'm meeting a friend of mine named David. David's been in Korea longer than I have. His mom is from Korea, but he was born and raised in Canada. You guys might know him from the popular TV show 어서 와 한국은 처음이지. He also runs a very popular language exchange cafe in Seoul called GSM. Anyway, I'm excited to film with him today. Let's go meet him now. What's going on? My Canadian bro.
My American brother from another mother.
That's right, yeah. One of my oldest friends here in Korea. Gosh, we're pretty much the same exact height, eh?
We are.
Alright, let's take a walk. Let's go. Let's go. So you and I, we actually met in Chungju, which is in Chungcheongbuk-do.
Yeah.
Much smaller city than here in Seoul. So Dave, what is life like in Seoul compared to life in Chungju, where we lived for a year?
I loved Chungju. It was so good to be in Chungju for my first year in Korea.
Okay.
I thought it was a really good choice to be somewhere a little bit less pressure.
Yeah.
The big city always finds something for you to do.
Yeah, you always seem busy here, right?
Yeah, very busy. It's very busy. You can't really just like lounge in Seoul.
Yeah.
Like you get off the subway and you get pushed along by a full crowd of people. You gotta get in line or get out of the way. You know? In Chungju, it's kind of like peaceful. You can kind of just float around, go at your own pace. Like even if I'm just walking on a street, like there's nowhere I have to really be, and I could just go down a back alley. Oh, this is cool. I wonder what's down this road. Go this way.
Yeah.
But in Seoul, I feel like a lot of the time it's like straight from the subway station to my next destination to the next spot.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even looking down the back alleyway.
Yeah.
But they got pros and cons. Like Chungju, I wouldn't be able to do that forever. I grew up in a smaller city. It's boring.
Yeah.
Feels like there's no future. It gets depressing. Like what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? I can't just keep floating around here. But then in Seoul, it feels like there's progress. Every day's a battle. You're in the kind of the rat race.
Yeah. Seoul's definitely a better place for people with more ambition.
Yeah.
Like young, ambitious people feel more at home, I think, in Seoul.
Seoul definitely kind of stoked my ambitions. But I kind of feel like you need a Chungju in your life.
You do?
You do. You need a Chungju. You need a time where you just go and just, it's peaceful. You get space.
There's like even a word in Korean, 빨리빨리.
Yeah.
It's such like a good way to describe life in Seoul. Like fast, hurry up. Yeah. Like everything needs to be done. What's your order?
Right.
Where are you going? Where's your taxi stop?
I got a love-hate relationship with Seoul.
Everybody does.
Yeah, no, but mostly love.
Yeah, me too. So maybe Seoul exemplifies the hustle, the hard work, the grit, the miracle of the Han River.
Yeah.
All of these things are literally within Seoul. Chungju's more traditional, slower way of living, kind of community-based.
That's really good. Let's go with that answer.
All right, yeah. How has 2020 been so far here in Seoul?
Like I didn't imagine in 2019 that things would shrink so much as far as business goes in 2020. Like it would be a nightmare to imagine that. But then you kind of go through it, you adapt, the business will survive. So it sucks, but it's not the end of the world.
Living in Korea, how long has it been? 6.5 years-ish?
Yeah, about 6.5.
Wow.
It's getting long. I've spent more of my adult life in Korea than I have in Canada.
Are there any Canadian habits or Western habits that you've dropped while living here in Korea? Or are there any habits that you've acquired?
I think the one that I picked it up for sure, but I can see people who have lived here in Korea 6 months, 1 year, they pick it up. Oh, that sound right there.
Yeah.
Even someone's been here 6 months, that's like the first thing they pick up.
Yeah.
Very naturally. Ooh. Yeah.
I always find it very interesting the sound that Korean audience members do when someone does something impressive.
Yeah.
It's like a ooh that goes like oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cool.
In a cafe, you'll see like a group of women or guys or everyone mixed together, and someone's talking, and maybe it's a little bit of a sympathetic topic. Everybody's just nodding and making the sound, and it's almost like they're in the same frequency all locked in.
Yeah, it's
they're
very
the same
cool.
channel.
I like it. I really like the importance of being aware in social environments in Korea. Nunchi, this whole idea of it, you're just tuned in, you know what the context is, and you can even see that in the language. They can take out things like 저는, 제가, you say 밥, 아까 밥 먹었어. You'd have to say, I ate food earlier in English. But I think this is just a whole cultural phenomenon.
It's got pros and cons though, Nunchi.
Okay.
Nunchi's got pros and cons.
What are the pros and cons? Just give me one or two of each.
The pros of Nunchi is like you always feel taken care of.
Yes.
Especially by people who are older than you.
Dude, are you sick? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Yeah, like this.
Right. If someone doesn't offer you food and you're used to nunchi, then you kind of feel like, oh, nobody cares about me.
Yeah, no one cares.
But the opposite side is a little bit tiring. People.
Yeah, you always have to be checked in.
Yeah, you gotta be checked in, and like I've met Koreans that have lived in England or America, and they say they really miss the fact that you can express yourself in your fashion. It doesn't matter, and you just walk down the street and you're in your own bubble. No one really bothers you about it. But here, there's a lot more nunchi, and they might be like, oh, what's this person?
Who's this guy? Who's this joker?
Yeah, it's a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit much. You just want to disconnect and be like, okay, I don't care about anything. I don't want to pay attention.
Shall we take a walk down, maybe find a cool little cafe?
Yeah, let's go. It's pretty hot, pretty humid.
Let's go.
Okay.
So a lot of Canadians in Korea, I would say especially, often get asked if they're from the US, if they're American. How do Canadians feel about being confused for American a lot?
Maybe some Canadians won't like with what I'm about to say. I don't care.
So you don't care as much as other people would care?
I could see how people would make a mistake.
So could I. Would you say there are any significant differences in the language spoken in the US and in Canada?
So whenever I answer the phone we meet, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Going, like G-O-A-N. How's it going? That's a big one for me. What about you and me? I'll turn the question to the interviewer.
Do I notice any differences?
Yeah.
You call the bathroom the washroom. We don't say that in the US. We just say bathroom or restroom. We just say restroom is like very formal, and bathroom you say it with your friends.
For you, when your friends came and visited and we all hung out.
Yeah, my friends from America.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Korean person if they're from Busan and then they meet their friends or their family from Busan, all of a sudden like the sateri comes out.
Yeah.
When your friends came from Philly, like you guys have your dialect.
Yeah.
I can hear it. But when you and I are talking, it's a little less.
Yeah, so I'm from Philadelphia. We have a very strong slang and dialect.
Yeah.
So many words that even Americans don't understand.
What did you eat? Sean says, what'd you eat?
Yeah. So there are so many similarities between Canada and the US, and even geographically they're so close together. But you guys have a big French-speaking component to your country. In fact, all of the Canadian presidents have to speak fluent French, right? Along with English.
They do. Everything. This cup right here, it has like some letters. You have to have it in French in Canada.
Really? Everything?
Yeah, everything. Any politician, they speak in English, and then they say in the same speech in French.
So you have two official languages?
Yeah. Okay. French and English. Sorry.
So in the eyes of most Canadians, what are like some American stereotypes?
In general, I would say Americans are very assertive.
Okay.
They're more assertive, so take up a bit more space, a bit more volume is a little bit higher, a little bit more ambitious in business, a little bit more on the capitalist side. Usually overweight, loud, and doesn't want to accept the native culture wherever they're going. So wherever they're going, it'll always be American.
Yeah. Where's the English?
Yeah. I want a French fry with hamburger. Right? Like, but you're in a Chinese restaurant. But I want a burger.
You're in Tokyo. Where's the pizza?
But I mean, that's a stereotype.
It's a stereotype.
It is a stereotype. I mean, that definitely exists. It exists in Canada. Canadians do that too. But I think in a lot of ways, Canadians define themselves against what Americans are. Because Canada is so much smaller than the States. We consume all American news and entertainment. And so we're always being sucked into like America's influence. So we kind of have to be like, no, we're not American, you know? I would definitely think about moving to the States at some point. I would want to live there. I mean, it feels like it's a happening place, you know?
Well, that's the thing. The United States, it has the worst of the worst and the best of the best.
Yeah.
There's some terrible people, areas in the US, and there's some amazing things, movements going on. Companies, people, neighborhoods, cities in the US.
Yeah.
I love the US.
My perspective has definitely changed. I traveled a lot, met a lot of Americans. This guy's American.
Yeah.
And I think there is some truth to the stereotype. I think Americans are assertive. And I think that's a positive trait to be assertive.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations where some country or some cultures just won't speak out, Americans will. And I think that could be a big asset. So I think those stereotypes get turned negative, but I've met a lot of great Americans, and I don't have any negative view towards Americans as a whole. No, not at all.
Right on, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, cool. All right, we're here by the Seokjeon Hosu. We gotta go outside and see what it's like. Let's take a walk around that, eh?
Let's go around.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
So you were on 어서와 한국은 처음이지.
Yeah, that's right.
And your friends from Canada came over here to Korea, Seoul most of the time, and Jeju also, right?
Yeah, we went to Jeju.
Okay. So what were your friends' impressions of Korea? Like the things that stuck out to them the most?
They loved it. They had such a good time. A lot of the things they were commenting on, like a big city is a big city, but it's the little things that really leave an impression. They left Korea thinking that Koreans are the most detail-oriented, thoughtful people. That's what they thought. So like, for example, we went to Coex aquarium and there's a railing and there's like foam on the railing and they're like, they thought of everything when you're leaning on it. Darren loved the little foam things on the door of a car, so when you open it you don't dent the other car.
Yeah.
So I love that, right?
Yeah.
These little things, right? Other things like we went surfing in Jeju-do, and when you leave the beach your feet are gonna be sand. So like there was this nice little pond for you to wash off your feet. And I remember, I think it was Kyle, he's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is a real first world country. I cannot go back to that third world Canada, right? They're just joking about that. Like,
so interesting, wow.
These little things, like those are the things I remember that they were looking at. Also the food. The food was a really big one. That's a big one, and that's what they definitely had a big impression.
They liked the Korean food.
The Korean food, they loved it.
So why do you think that show is so popular amongst Koreans?
Well, I think the show, they do a good job. They produce it well, and having friends who are close together, just watching that is entertaining, I think, in any country. But I think particularly in Korea. I mean, everyone knows Korea is a pretty closed country. If you look at their history, they really focus on their own. They don't have ambitions to go into other countries. They kind of close their doors at some points in history. Foreigners are kind of rare. But when they see people from different countries, wherever they come from, and they take a huge interest in Korea, I think it's really fresh.
Gives them a new perspective.
Really a new perspective. That first reaction of someone who's totally foreign and they see Korea and they see what Korea has to offer, I think that's pretty exciting for Koreans.
Right on. So what are you doing these days?
2020, never expected that there was like the social distancing. I run events and meetups. Like social distancing is the death of an event, right?
It's true.
There's nothing worse.
I feel for you.
And so it was tough, and it was a curveball. So I had to think, okay, what can we do? We can't do these big events. You know, I do parties with 2,000, 3,000 people. Cannot do that. Nope. But we developed a meetup platform in video, kind of like Skype or Zoom, and you can join with hundreds of other people, maybe even thousands, and then we'll match you to people that you would like to talk to. For example, if I'm learning Korean, I'll be matched with a Korean speaker, and our levels will be the same.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this, like in a meetup, you cannot play games. Like there'll have to be a host, and you know you need cards or materials or something. But on a video, we can build all the games right into it.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things you can do. It's a lot more educational if you actually want to learn. This year, it's been all about focusing on that, and it's been going really, really well.
Yeah. You can even do that in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
people in other countries can interact with each other.
Exactly. We got people on every single continent joining these events.
Wow. So this is really getting bigger, eh?
Yeah. So we started just with English and Korean, but now we've moved to Chinese, Spanish, Japanese, French.
This sounds like it's going to be something really popular. Where can people find it?
You can go to our website. It's hilocal with a K, HILOKAL.com, and you just log in and you can book for the event and just join, and you meet with lots of people from around the world in the video chat room.
Right on.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, let me walk you to where you got to go, and we'll call it a day.
Okay.
All right, we're back here at the subway station, Chamshil. You got to go to work, right? Yeah, I'm going to go home and do some editing. Thank you so much. It was so fun today talking about Canada, US, cultural differences.
It's great. It's beautiful out here. Chamshil.
No rain. We were blessed. See you next time, my friend.
See you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Once again, I'm Sean, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.